She do me. Manta, I'm with the magicians, everybody out there, everybody bad there. Manta, girl with the big panties, and the old fatties, and the Atlantis. Manta, I'm with the magicians, everybody out there, everybody bad there. Manta, girl with the big panties, and the old fatties, and the oh, mama, I'm on the sesame
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time right now, Switchy, it is 8:12, and we are going to head into our conversation for this morning. We are going to be conducting an interview with Senator Shevern John, and I think she's the first female politician we're interviewing in our political conversation series. I think that you are, so welcome.
Oh, thank you.
And welcome to the studios of WEFM.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm well, thanks.
Yeah, all right. And how is North Windward?
North Windward is, it's a vibrant community, constituency, and people are just ready for change.
And I guess you're this change.
Of course.
All right. So we've been hosting a series of political conversations where we're interviewing candidates who are going to participate in the upcoming general elections. All right. So we are very happy to have female representation. All right.
Women in power.
Women in power. All right. So give us a background as to who is Shevern John.
Shevern. Hardworking individual. I'm from the village of Owia. That's second most northeastern village in the country. I grew there, I born there, and I really don't intend to leave there. It's a village I love. I'm a hardworking person. I'm spiritual. I believe in the Trinity. And my passion, my dedication is to serve people, to deliver real progress and change when it comes to community building. I'm a part of a community that raised persons, and I was raised by a community. And I always want to give back to communities. And that's why I said, I think it was my first parliament, I said service to humanity. That's the best work of life. And I hold that dear to my heart because my passion is serving people and delivering the change, seeing the progress, building together, because you cannot do it by yourself. That's who I am.
Okay.
All right. So what made Shevern John believe that politics was the way to best serve your community and your constituency at large?
I grew up in community-based organizations. So I am always active. I'm always going, looking at people, talking to people, hearing their views, hearing what affects them, hearing the issues. I taught for a number of years. And I love working with people because you get to meet people who are indifferent. You get to serve people. I realized that my constituency, it's been economically disadvantaged, needed better representation. We needed leaders who will serve, who are caring, and who will deliver to the people. Not only mere talks, but who will deliver. I was approached by the New Democratic Party on many occasions before I confirmed. I never saw myself in politics, first of all. But when I look and I realize that somebody has to stand up for the people, somebody must be the change. And it must start with someone is transformational. Hence my appearance in politics. Enjoyable.
But then why NDP though, as opposed to, because for NDP to reach out, they saw something in you. But this doesn't mean that you had to necessarily go and side with the NDP. So why did you choose NDP as opposed to, let's say, putting forward your interests to the ULP? What stood out more for you with the NDP as opposed to the ULP?
The NDP is a party that has everyone at heart. And the values of the NDP, the principles, the policies on which the NDP stands, the leadership of the NDP is what attracts me, because I believe that we are in sync. Mm-hmm. And if I'm in sync, it means that I can work with you and we can deliver together.
Okay.
All right. You mentioned before you do a lot of work in the community and then you were a teacher and all of that. So from engaging with the community as not necessarily before you got into the political scene, but after you've gotten into the political scene, what has the embrace been like in the community and the constituency? Or is there a difference in the way that the constituency itself embraces you or the community itself?
Well, within the constituency, you have persons of different political orientations. Mm-hmm. And in no way you'll be liked by everyone. Mm-hmm. But I cannot say that I have met any form of real animosity during my walkabout or during my one-on-one sessions with people. I believe that people are open, and it is the way you approach people, it is the way you carry yourself, and it is the respect that you gain from people in society that can create a lasting positive relationship or a negative relationship. Throughout my life, my teaching career, I have been working, as I said earlier, I've been working with people. I've been working with students who are indifferent, students who you might find is the most troublesome one. And, I talk to them and I can get them to settle. And I guess just me.
Mm-hmm.
Just
okay,
me.
You being you.
I
right.
am just being real. I'm just being me. I have no face to show to anybody. What you see is what you get.
Okay.
I have one curious question. So have you had a situation where you had to use those skills of dealing with those sort of hard to go with children in your class? Have you had to use those skills with any members of your community, like the young persons who find themselves involved in certain activities? Have you had to use them, and what was it like if you did?
You always meet people who you have different situations and have to respond differently. And yes, I have been in situations where I have to quell certain negativity within the communities. And it came across well. It came across well. As I said, I'm very straight. And I tell you, if you're not behaving well, I say it to you. But then I offer solutions. I offer suggestions, because you cannot leave it there. And that's what politics is all about, Politics is bringing solutions to the problems, the issues that you see. If you have nothing, then you come empty and you leave empty. The impact will never be there.
Okay. And talking about problems and creating solutions, on the NDP's website, under your profile, it mentions that you wish to focus on creating jobs within your community. So how do you plan on achieving this?
Well, we know we have a high rate of unemployment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, especially among youths. According to the figures, we have 20% or thereabouts unemployment, 41% or more among youths. In my community, I believe it is more. In my community alone, and in the constituency, which is at large, it just pushes through. We have, from the NDP, we have 4 pillars that we want to develop, or we say pillars. I was going the local parlance. These are 4 things we are going to address. All right. And those things are agriculture, tourism, the blue economy, and the new economy. Okay. We all know what agriculture is. And my area is an agriculture area. The constituency of North Windward, lush green vegetation filled with farmers. And these, well, previously, when agriculture was the main thing of the economy, people gravitated towards it. Young people wanted to farm. Now they don't, because nothing is there. The market is not there. People thieving your products. You have no security when it comes to that. The work is hard now for most of them. And when we look at it, people are just not gravitating towards agriculture. I want to ensure, because I've spoken to young people, I don't want to bring things just like that. I have to speak to you to find out what do you like, and then you can put solutions to it. So I've spoken to a number of young people. A lot of them still want to farm because the lands are there, whether it be through family line or what, they have the lands there. So we can see that putting the necessary things in place for agriculture, like having a proper market. If you have a market, you know you're going to farm, you know at the end of the day, you have somewhere to sell your produce and the price will be right for you, because that is important. You can have a market and the price is not right. It just won't want you to farm. So people are looking for the right price. And the New Democratic Party said, this is one of our prior policy. We are going to ensure that we look for markets for you. And you would hear other persons from the party speaking about that. We're going to make sure that we look for markets for you and the right price. We're going to give you the technology. Because farming and agriculture, you have to bring in some modern form of technology into it to make it attractive. So that our youths. We are also going to look at the skills and the jobs that are available and ensure that we have those skills to match the jobs that are available. We're not going to do things in isolation. Okay? In the communities, you have very skilled people. But again, the market is not there. If we have improvement in tourism, people coming in, you can make your craft, and you have your own entrepreneurial business going. Right? So there are many opportunities that we have in the constituency. We have a fishing complex in Ovia, $30 million built by this government, not operational. And according to the concept note of that fishing complex, you can create, well, the concept note states that about 50 jobs or so will be created. Upon expansion, upon bringing in other things, you can create about 75 to close to 100 jobs in that facility. But it is not operational, and we have high unemployment. Just think of it, and that is how I am seeing. I'm looking at it broadly with the pillars that the NDP, or the things that the NDP have put together to ensure that we have economic development, economic growth, sustainability, jobs creation from every sector up.
All right, so I'm listening to you, right? But one of the challenge for many of us as voters is that, so yes, you're proposing the pillars for your party, right? But from my vantage point, living in my constituency, is there anything that I can hold you to right now that you say that this will be done once I'm elected, that this will be done within the next 5 years? I know it's not, because, it's easier to pull things and say, okay, well, you're going to tag on to things for national development, etc. But within the constituency itself, is there anything that we can just pinpoint and say, or you can pinpoint and say, this for sure, of course, it's not going to be the only thing, but this for sure is what I can guarantee that will be done within the 5 years that I'm elected?
So within the 5 years, we are looking at the renovation and operation of the Ovia fishing complex, where you have a gas station. So farm fishers will have that ready market, jobs being created in that area. We have also the arrowroot factory, where we would be able to make sure that that is operational so that jobs again will be created within that 5-year span. We have tourist sites that we have identified and we will develop, creating jobs, because we have to ensure that tourism is booming. And we have the natural resources. We have heritage tourism. Our people, indigenous people, are good for that. We have the cuisine. You know what it is. And this is how jobs are going to be sustained and created within the constituency of North Windward for the next 5 years, among other things.
Okay, so at least those two for sure. We could hold you to, right?
Sure.
All right.
With those, I'm not saying that this should or must be done, but out of curiosity, have you identified persons in your constituency with the particular skill set to, let's say, when you get the opportunity to put these things into place, who can get these jobs or who can work in these particular areas from your interactions with persons?
Well, I was a teacher, so I know a number of students who have passed through the system, and yes, interacting with persons
still live in the community,
and still live in the community, and who are ready to work. Some are not working, but they're ready to work. And on my daily interactions with people, they are ready, and I have identified. There may be some you may have missed, but I am sure they will come on board. You would see them. Persons may recommend them, because you have to be open and you want the best skills. You want persons with the knowledge who can really do the job. You don't want to just put people there because they are affiliated to a certain party. You want people, because this is development. And let me tell you, I love and I will love to see my constituency like Kingston, properly developed, painted, everything in place. Remember when we had, and I'm not sure if you're too young to remember, but we had what we call the cleanup program around October time.
Best Village competition.
The Best Village. And the village of Overland used to be one of those villages that was beautiful. I want to see our people taking pride in whatever they do. Because when you do that, the ownership, you feel happy and you want to always do it. And you will have a better society. That's what we are looking for. Right now, we know the division that is taking place. We know what is going on. We can't be oblivious to what is going on around us. We know. And we have to now educate to turn things around.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a break, but let me ask this question before we head on for the break. With your constituency, it's two women against each other, right? What makes you the better candidate?
You want me to answer it now?
Yeah. Oh, you want to take the break?
Your choice.
Okay, you could probably answer it now.
Okay. Well, you have to look at leadership. You have to look at persons who will deliver. And you have to look at the track records of persons. My opponent, I can't say anything. She may take a different approach. But when you look, I have delivered out of government to the people, especially in sports. I have listened to them. I have cried with them. I have been there from day one. And, the people now have to just choose based on leadership.
All right. All right. So we are going to head on out. We are going to take a break. And then when we come back, we will be back with your questions. All right. You can feel free to call in at that time.
WEFM is SBG.
Dragged on, excellent length.
50 years ago, the West Indies conquered the world in 1975. Now, in 2025, we honor that legacy with bat, ball, and Caribbean soul. The SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival is here. From July 31st to August 3rd, join us as 4 powerhouse captains. Kesrick Williams, Sunil Ambrose, Kenneth Dember, and Jamil Warrican lead the charge. Also appearing on the field, Saqib Al-Hassan, Aaron Jones, Andre Fletcher, Carlos Brathwaite, and Kyle Mayers. Cricket legends, emancipation, culture, unity. Celebrate 50 years of greatness where freedom meets the field. The SVG Emancipation Cricket Festival 2025. Legacy, unity, excellence. Follow us on social media at SVG Cricket Festival. This event is powered by the SVG Tourism Authority.
Carifesta is sound and movement. Carifesta is soca and bouillon, ska and spooj, reggae and dancehall, kaiso, zouk and ring bang, compa, rumba and rakatuk. The rhythms of the region, made with love and pure Caribbean energy. Come for Carifesta 15 in Barbados. Book your stay now at visitbarbados.org/Carifesta.
Do you spin a dial to make a call on your rotary phone from the 60s?
No.
Are you driving an unreliable and risky automobile made in the 1900s?
Of course not.
Are you still fiddling with an antenna to get good signal on your black and white television from the 20s?
Really?
Then why are you still stuck in the past, sitting on an unintelligent 1930s design toilet? That's right, 1930s design. What does your bathroom say about you? Don't get left behind. The future is now. Be smart. Be progressive. Get yourself a smart toilet seat or a complete toilet today at one of our 4 authorized hardware stores. General Hardware, Gibson's Building Supplies, Lane's Hardware, or Miners Hardware. For more information, you can call us at 457-1703 or visit our website, justwashit.vc.
Tired of sky-high bills and the planet on the brink? It's time to go green without burning your pockets. At First National Bank, we are here to make saving the planet affordable. Whether you're installing solar panels, purchasing a water tank, upgrading to an inverter AC, or buying a hybrid vehicle, we've got the green to help you go green. Fast approval, low interest rates, and Mother Nature approved. Your future self will thank you. Visit firstnationalbankonline.com or call 784-456-1501 for more information to help you turn your green dreams into clean realities. First National Bank, here for you.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry. We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Love it, embrace it.
WEFM, the new fresh sound. WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Activated Mornings on WeFM 99.9 is on now.
And the time here in SVG, it is 8:35, and we are back with you. We are going to be continuing our interview, or well, more discussion. I don't want interview. Interview just sounds so... All right, our conversation with Senator Shevern John, and she is the NDP's representative for the candidate for the North Windward seat. All right, so everything, we good this morning, right? Still going good?
Still going good. Still batting.
All right. All right. So remember, this is an interactive program. And at this time, if persons choose to call, you can do so by calling 457-9997. All right. That is both a direct call as well as a WhatsApp number. All right.
In the meantime, I think I'll ask some questions from some of our listeners. Somebody wants to know, what emphasis would the NDP place on ecotourism?
Well, we have tourism as one of our main things, the pillar. And that includes heritage tourism, ecotourism, it includes sports tourism, whatever you can think of. For example, in my constituency, I am known for cricket. Softball cricket, and I've been doing it for a number of years. You know, the facilities are not up to par, but we communities come together, community people come together, and they try to make it so that we can at least have some fun and release some stress for the people. And one of the main thing of the NDP in terms of sports tourism in my area is to build a multi-complex sporting facility. You know, we'll identify the lands and make sure that it is there for the people. And that would involve, you know, that again is job creation for us. So when it comes to ecotourism, right in my constituency, in Owea, we have great waterfalls. We have, you know, things that we can sell for our people so that the NDP is going to develop all these natural resources when we get elected, right? So that again we can create jobs for our people. So tourism on a whole will be addressed. Not only eco, but we have heritage. And as I said, we are the indigenous people. We have a lot to offer, you know. And I am seeing development of the Joseph Chatouet National Park in Rabuka, showing the local cuisine there. Moving from there, you go up to Sandy Bay, where you can do the punta and do those things. We have things set up. Again, creating jobs for young people. The local shacks are already there. People, community groups. You see, we have to work and sync with the community and community activists so that we can have these things well organized and be able to sell it to the tourists.
Okay, curious question. You are of Garifuna descent,
correct?
Right? Now, it has always been a little bit of removal in a sense where all the heritage, the language, everything is spoken, and it is continued in a sense from the persons in the north. But those of us down here and those of us who are not of Garifuna descent, we don't know a whole lot. We just know tidbits. Given that you are of Garifuna descent, do you have any thoughts with regards to it being, or the language or the culture, the history being taught more within our schools, like a push towards it? Because even for me at my age, I feel kind of bad because there are times when I can't speak with any big set of authority with regards to the Garifuna heritage, legacy, culture, history, here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So what are your thoughts with regards to that?
It is something I always want within the communities. I know fancy governments will have a masterful program going on with the teaching of the Garifuna language. Just at their graduation, I was really surprised. They sang in Garifuna, they sang the national anthem. My daughter at the Owe government school, and she would come home and she would say, when she gets up on Monday, she would say, Buiti Minafi, good morning. That's Garifuna. She would come home on evening, she would greet me in Garifuna as well. So I realized that, it's something intrinsic. Our children can easily pick up that language. And if we only push it into our curriculum, even if it is part of an extra, probably Spanish, French, we can do Garifuna too. We may not sit it for CXC exams, but it's something that can be taught within the schools. Just before my involvement in politics, I told you I was part of community-based organizations. And every summer, we used to have persons from the diaspora coming into my community over here, and we have a little summer camp for our children, teaching the Garifuna language, teaching the punta, the dance, we make the little dresses and so on. These are things that we can carry on, and we know we have lost it. I must say, and I have a question in Parliament, going to Parliament this time for our next sitting, relating to what was done last year in terms of teaching of the Garifuna language, because I want to see, even without you knowing that,
right?
Because it's something that I am passionate about, and it's something I will definitely push when I get elected.
Okay. So question before we take, I'm going to take the caller, but does the Shadow Minister of Education have this in plan to put Garifuna in the curriculum, or?
I have spoken to him, and of course he does.
Okay. All right. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning, Senator John.
Good morning.
I've been following you for quite a while. I love your zest. I really would have I was expecting you to speak to ecotourism a bit more, because, for example, here in Bermuda, ecotourism will never ever work. It will crash and burn even before you think of it. But as we speak, we have as many as 20,000 visitors on this island, and we're only 21 square miles. So we focus on that type of tourism. What I would like to see in St. Vincent, and I'm going to say this, and people are going to get upset. These young ladies did an interview with a lady this morning from Barley. Now, when tourists come to St. Vincent, would you guys consider setting up pioneer villages? For example, I'm from Mesopotamia, the best place in St. Vincent, where we had all sorts of stuff. We had blacksmiths, we had shoemakers, we had, if you could set up these villages, and even in your area, folks would love to see how the indigenous people used to live. And these are things we could focus on. And I do hope if you form the government, you do something to save the Baga Fish Festival, because that's what it's all about. I took my wife down to, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's somewhere down Leeward where there's a waterfall. And I took her down to the riverside and I caught some crayfish. Of course, I caught on release. And she actually was excited. She got down on her knees and she reached down and she grabbed a big bouquet. But she dropped it, of course. She dropped it, of course, because she was scared. And these are things that we could do to entice tourists. We don't want to come to St. Vincent and swim on in Zagato like that, because we got the best beaches in Bermuda. We want to come down and look at people roast bread food, look at some, what's that stuff you make in Sandy Bay with the cassava?
The cassava bread, the farine,
yes,
and the madongo bakes.
Absolutely. We don't want Kentucky. We don't want that stuff. We want indigenous. We want St. Vincent food.
All right, so it's more community-based tourism, you mean, and not so much ecotourism, but community-based tourism.
More community-based, yes. Mm-hmm. And when we come, we don't want to hear all these nonsense. We want to hear Vincentian songs, like Big Fly and Who Dragged the Sheep and all that kind of stuff,
You and this Who Dragged the Sheep. All right, Joshua.
I'm going to get off.
All right.
Thank you. But I'm not sure if you were following, because I had said, about the Joseph Chateaubriand National Park. That's a park we want to develop, and then you branch out into the communities and I even said you can do those things with the craft, the local craft and those things. Yeah.
All right, so we have another call. Hi, caller. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning to my representative.
Good morning.
You're talking about the Garifuna language. Since in 2000, when campaigning was going on, when Ralph campaigning, I personally tell him about that, about the Garifuna language. Since that, you might have youth something we don't learn. I might have learned something about from it too. Since in 2000 campaigning, I personally tell him and other people was telling me, we was talking about that when you come on like Cain when you walking down there. And up to now, nothing to do with the Garifuna language in school. You put it there in the curriculum, I might have learned something from it. I don't know nothing about Garifuna language. You have a lady in Georgetown, she died now. Her fathers are there, she's from Sandy Bay. And her parents used to speak Garifuna, but they never really developed on it. But she know a little thing, but she died now, So I will glad if you are the NDP put it a part of the curriculum. when you're getting government, and soon when you're getting government. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Well, we'll form that relation with the Garifuna diaspora because you know those are the ones that have they're the ones that must teach us this language because we have
That's
lost
unfortunate,
it,
huh?
unfortunately. And we will form those relations and ensure that at least we have some exchange when it comes to because our people in Honduras and Guatemala and those places, they love to set foot on Urome. They love it. And I know they will be passionate and they will be willing to do that for us.
I always find it interesting how they look at us with some reverence and then we just hear like,
yes,
yes, something has to be done. Something needs to be done.
We have to bring back that pride. We must own it. This is who we are and we have to own it. And when we do that, then we will be able to go out and showcase who we really are as a people.
All right. So Senator John, you are a woman involved in politics. And many women don't get involved in politics because we are of the opinion, well, I don't know if I speak for other women, but I speak for myself, right? That it seems to be a bit of a gutter sport. And many men, the men enjoy it. And as a woman entering, what is your perception of politics been like so far, given that you are in it? How have the men been treating you? And as a woman, how have you been able to as well?
I had some of the same question and I was wondering.
And how have you been able to balance your personal domestic life with being involved in politics? Because, they always tell us as women, we cannot have it all. We cannot do it all. When we pursue one thing, something ends up being neglected. So how has it been for you as a woman in politics?
When I started thinking about entering the politics, I had the same sentiments like you. Why would I enter politics? This dirty, I saw it as being dirty. Everybody quarreling against each other. There's nothing, not a profession. It's not a worthy profession. That's how I saw it. I told you I'm very spiritual. So before I entered, I said, Lord, what are the plans you have for me? Let your will be done. If this is the way I'm to go, let the. Anyway, I believe that he led me into this. And when I entered, I said, someone has to change the perception. Someone has to be the light. And if you go low, someone has to go high. And I entered with that, that I am going to hold my head up. I'm not going into the gutter with anyone because it is not me. You want to go out and curse, that's you. It's okay. May God bless you. You can't change people out there. There's some perceptions you can't change. And I don't bother myself to even get into a quarrel to change it. So I entered and I said, Lord, let your will be done. Let me be a light. And my values and the people that surround me continue to encourage me in that manner. And that has kept me. And let me tell you, politics can be a very lonely profession. It's not dirty, it's what you make it. So whatever you bring to the table, if you want to come in and be dirty, man, you're going into the gutter with them. If you want to come in and be a light, you're going to be a light. And there are times when I question myself, what am I doing here? Especially when you're in opposition. You don't get the fancies. Everybody still look at you for something. And sometimes you don't have it. And you really want to help somebody, but you can't because of you're in opposition. Opposition is not getting a fund that you can go and tap into to help the community. So you have to depend on persons who would say, be generous to you. And let me thank persons who have been so generous to me to assist others in their times of need. So you go in with that and you question sometimes, am I in the right profession? But then you may hear somebody on the side saying, you're doing well. Even without knowing that you're questioning it, you're doing well. Continue to do the good work. And that gives you the motivation to press on. Yes, families, obviously, you're going to neglect them at some point in time. I know sometimes, even last summer, my daughter was like, Mommy, you're not home to help me with homework. You're always on the road. And sometimes I meet somebody and she's with me, come, Mommy, let us go now. So, sometimes you have to really balance that. But if you have the family support, the extended family support, it helps. And the community support, it helps. And I have had that along the way. I have had, I sat and I explained to my daughter, this is where I am. This is my job. And at times, I go out campaigning. So when I say to her, I'm going campaigning this evening, I will be back around 8 o'clock, she understands. And I find that time to come back to get that one-on-one time with her because she's small and I don't want her to grow up feeling neglected. So you have to be able, it's a strong woman I am, to be able to balance that home life and still go out into the community and serve the people. Thank God for his mercies.
Okay. On the topic of the going high and shining your light, as it relates to the gutter politics, right? Can you speak to the men around you involved in politics, or have you ever spoken to them about that type of behavior that we have seen from them in terms of that same political pecan, they call it? But
I have never experienced that behavior from the men around me. I have only gotten full support from leadership and everyone within the New Democratic Party. And I must really give gratitude to them. I cannot say a dull moment, and I don't think they're so out of order to come and do that.
No, what I mean, like, for example, right now we have a situation that the country is aware of that's going on between the Prime Minister and Dr. Shallow, right? Is it possible for you to sit with Dr. Shallow? Because some of the things that he's doing, we didn't really expect him to do, and persons are not really pleased with that. As a member of the same political party as you, can you sit with him and say, listen, you probably use first name Kishore, this, I don't really, you think this is, can you speak to him and help to shine that light of yours? Is that a possibility?
Yes, because from the letter I know of Dr. Shallow, since his entrance into the party.
And not just him, like for others.
Right, but as you're using him, he's open. And the men in the New Democratic Party are open. And I'm able to sit and have any conversation with them, especially when it comes to character building. Because, you're coming into an environment, as you said, the back and forth with Dr. Gonsalves and Dr. Shallow. And, it's like one hitting me and I'm not hitting you and hitting you and let's see who first would end it. And we have had that behavior even before Dr. Shallow's entrance into politics by our Prime Minister. We have had it, we have heard it, we have seen it. And I think, because of that, why many shun away from politics. But we have to get persons who can stand up to him. Because you can't have someone just pulling and you're not responding. You must have someone to stand up. But in standing up, you must hold your morals and your principles and your values with you.
There's one thing I do have to comment you on, because it's not just saying that when they go low, you go high. I've seen you actually demonstrate it in Parliament, where when they start with the back and forth, even when you're on the floor, you just keep quiet. You wait for it to subside and then you continue. And that is a way to not engage them, right? Not to engage in the back and forth. Now, I know we like the little pecan, it makes us chuckle sometimes and that sort of thing. But when it gets out of hand and out of order, I noticed that you would just stay there, you wait for them to stop, and then you would continue.
Because it must stop.
Yeah.
You can't go.
Yes.
It must stop.
Yes.
And if you want other women to be involved in politics, if you want, you have to. Politics is not the back and forth in
that's not all to it, right?
It's not all to
it.
You come there to do the people's business, and the people's business is what you come to do. And I say, the party selected me to be a candidate, a senator for them for the last 3, 4, 5 years. And it is to air the issues for parliamentary oversight. And that is the job I am there to do. And that's what I'm doing.
Would you like to see more women involved in politics, though?
Yes.
Do you think it would be a nicer arena? A much nicer, okay.
Yes, women are caring. Women, you would have a better atmosphere. You would have, there's some...
right, right, okay.
And you sometimes see it displayed in parliament too, but generally, we are caring people. We are caring people. And that's why I love the New Democratic Party, because the New Democratic Party has always supported women in politics. Over the years, the New Democratic Party has held women in every election. I believe, except probably for one or so. But they have had women, and they have had women who represented Yvonne Francis Gibson, Stephanie Brown, those women who are there and had continued along that trajectory of just being women who one can emulate. And I must thank the NDP for that opportunity to show women that, yes, you can join a party and be a mother, a leader, a teacher, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever it is, and a lawmaker for the people that you're serving.
Okay. All right. So I like to normally end with a fun question.
Oh, we're ending?
Yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock. But what it is that I will do though, before I ask the question, is there anything? Sell yourself. Go ahead. Sell yourself to persons who are listening, especially within your constituents, especially to the young persons, right? Why should they go out and vote the next general election? And why should they vote for you in particular?
Well, Shevern John represents the NDP. And as I said, the NDP has its main plans and policies, and one that has a great leadership and a cadre of men and women who are ready to deliver. And we want to ensure that we have economic growth. We have proper jobs for our young people, and jobs that are sustainable and with good pay. We want to ensure that our healthcare is better. Most of all, we want to create opportunities for all. And this is what Shevern John represents. Make sure that you realize that even in opposition, the leadership that I have displayed is compared to anyone, you can't compare. And if you want better leadership, if you want, Shevern John is someone who would come out and listen to you. I would sit, I would cry with you, I would wash with you, I would go to the river, I would roast the breadfruit, I would pitch the marble. And I have been doing that throughout. So as I said, it's not a facade. I would go in the lands and I would dig the lands because, yes, farming is my love as well. I would play the netball. Sports is my thing. So you have someone who brings knowledge, who can identify with you, and who can deliver in an NDP government. So go out, get registered, and vote no other but the NDP.
And vote you in particular as well, too.
The NDP.
Right. All right. So this is my fun question to you, right? Because, we've been serious about a lot of stuff. So what is your favorite thing to cook? And what is your favorite thing to eat? Because, the two of them not necessarily same things. So what's your favorite thing to cook and favorite thing to eat?
Okay, I like to eat pork.
Okay, you can say it a little louder.
I'm a pork eater, right? I'm a pork eater. I love pork. I don't eat the pepper, so if you jerk it, little pepper.
Okay.
Anyhow you do it, I'll eat it.
Okay.
My favorite thing to cook may be fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
it's easy. It's a 1, 2, 3.
You love to cook fish.
I love to cook
but
fish.
You love to eat
but
pork.
I love to eat pork.
All right. All right. So Senator John, we thank you very much for being here with us. I don't think that this will be the last occasion before the elections are called. So we look forward to having you back in studio with us. And it has been a fun morning interviewing you. Well, it's not interviewing. It was a fun morning having a discussion with you. All right. So until we meet again, all the best to you.
Thank you very much. And let's say to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, thank you for listening. Vote the NDP.
I just want to just one word to you before you go. Well, first of all, as a woman, I am cheering you on. I'm not necessarily liking the political thing, but as a woman, I'm definitely cheering you on. So far, what has been portrayed of Shevern John in the media has been quite positive. I've listened to you talk all morning, and even before that, I'm not getting any sort of negativity, or I haven't seen any sort of negativity towards Shevern John. The people seem to really love Shevern John. I like how you mentioned that you're not going low with the political, back and forth and so on, that you're going high. And I want to encourage you to keep doing that and to continue to spread the light around you wherever you go.
Thank you. I do hope you all vote the NDP.
All right, so that concludes our interview this morning with Senator Shevern John, NDP's candidate for the